Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Executive Edge, the podcast for skills in life and business. And today I have Callie Blackwell. Now, Callie and I haven't met before, but I am really super fascinated to hear all of her story. I will let her tell you all about it. But Callie, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Well, thank you. So look, tell everybody about you, because obviously I know something of the story, and just to make sure I make a suitable plug, I've already taken a look at your fabulous book, but we do need to explain the context of it. So give us a bit of your background and then we'll get into the story, please.
Okay, so my background really, I grew up in Norfolk. I became a mum very early on, and that was kind of my job, and my mission in life was just to bring up my two children. And then in 2010, my eldest, who was 10 at the time, was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And of course, at that time, then my whole world just was turned upside down. And I always liken it to getting onto a roller coaster ride that I never bought a ticket for and I couldn't get off. And we went along with conventional treatment, and everything was going quite well, quite swimmingly. He was the perfect patient. And then whilst on active chemotherapy, he actually in 2012, but then at the age of 12, was diagnosed with another cancer called Langerhans cell sarcoma. And this cancer actually there was only 50 cases since records began ever. And it took an awful lot of time, and we had scientists all over the world actually with slices of his tonsils looking to try and determine what type of cancer this was, and it took them about 2.5 months actually, and they had to go down on a genetic level, and they discovered that this Langerhans cell sarcoma had actually originated from his bone marrow, the same as the leukemia had. So they had no protocol for him. There was only 5 people in the world at the time that actually had Langerhans cell sarcoma. And Deryn was the only one in the entire world to have it as a secondary cancer. Everybody else had it as their primary cancer. And this was a secondary, and they didn't know whether this was a relapse or a secondary, or so this was, they had no protocol for him, basically, is what they said. You know, we have no protocol. We don't know what to do with him. So we're basically going to give him everything we can without killing him. Their words.
And this sounds so pot luck, doesn't it? That's the horrific thing about it. I mean, I don't discount for 1 second how much they must have felt informed and how much medical experience they had. But wow, to actually lack experience and yet be a medic's got to be pretty hard.
It made me, I wasn't filled with much hope, to be honest, because, they didn't give me much hope. They were very, they said, we don't know if we're going to be able to treat this. We don't know what to do. We really don't know anything. We are going into this blind, and he is pretty much a guinea pig. And you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that from oncologists of 30 years, and you're thinking, okay.